Losing is not acceptable to Max Verstappen. He's so afraid of losing that he wins. He's so afraid of losing that when there's pressure on him, he stays calm because he does not want to lose. And this year, it's becoming more and more evident. As an aside, this is the kid who, when he was 15 years old, his dad abused him, dropped him at the gas station because he didn't do well in a race, let somebody pass him. So you can understand the psyche of Max Verstappen. Losing is not an option for him, and he'll do whatever it takes. No doubt he's done about 5 billion hours in the sim racing machine. He's done thousands and thousands of hours of driving. When he was young, he would drive in rain while it was raining, while the other kids were in the paddock looking for grip. And that's the greatest thing he does have, is an intuitive sense of grip and feel. It doesn't matter that his car has less grip than McLaren. It doesn't matter that the rear end is rubbish and floats unstable. None of that matters. He, more than any other driver, has an intuitive sense of not just grip and what's going on the track, but track awareness, everything that's going on, almost like a machine, metronomic performance. All of this is thanks to one thing: he sold his soul to the devil. And what I mean by he sold his soul to the devil is that racing is the only thing that matters to him. This is someone who's actually one of the top drivers in iRacing as well as Formula One, and that's all he thinks about. That's all he thinks about. He's a purist, and he's put in a lot of work, and it culminated today in an unbelievable performance. So building this season, it's been clear that Max does well on high-speed tracks with downforce. He does well enough to eke out qualifiers against McLaren, who are actually faster than him. But no one thought that he would be able to do this at Miami, which is a rear-limited track in which you have to have a lot of traction and downforce for the slow-speed corners. But once again, he pulled off a miracle. Well, it's not fully a miracle because they brought in, Red Bull brought in floor update. And whatever that floor update is, he did say that it made him feel a little bit more stable in the rear end, but a little bit can make a difference of 400th to 500th to 600th of a second, which is what he beat Norris by. He said that the back of the car felt a little bit more stable, but that was not the end of it. I'm watching him in free practices and in qualifying. He did look stable. It looked like the car had fair enough balance, but we didn't believe that he'd be able to do well because he has struggled mightily on tracks which have slow speed corners and hairpins, such as is the case with Miami's track. But what he put today was unbelievable. During the qualifying, he had a blistering first sector, which is the mid to high speed, and is very, very technical. And he made so much time on that sector that whatever he lost later on in the other two sectors to McLaren didn't matter because he had just enough speed to pull through. Now, I want to also mention that he carried a lot of speed and fluidity through the exit chicane into the long run, just about where he pushed the throttle and ended his qualifying. So it's not just that he did very well in the high spec sector. In sector 3, he actually outdid McLaren. Well, he outdid Piastri and Norris coming off that chicane. And other than a mistake that he made on corner 1 in the first sector, which cost him probably half a tenth of a second, and he was still able to win. Other than that, he ran a flawless qualifying. Now let's look at Norris. Norris did better, but he drove within himself, and he made a mistake on one of the chicanes, bounced off the chicane, made a little error, which cost him probably half a tenth to a tenth of a second, which is probably why he lost. If you want to talk about Piastri scared as shit today. You know what they say, heavy is the head that holds the crown. And he looked different. He just didn't look, he wasn't smiling. He looked surly all Friday and Saturday. He's taking it too seriously because now he's the favorite, and it's not a very nice position to be unless you're Verstappen, who doesn't care if he's the favorite or if you say he's going to lose. He just races. So kind of rambling here, but here's the difference between Verstappen and Norris and Piastri. Verstappen, as I said, is a master. He's done thousands of hours, hundreds and thousands of hours, and has intuition and has a level of grip and awareness that nobody else has. Norris and Piastri are still beginners. They have the car, but they don't have the experience, the intuitive level of grip, an understanding of the car to push at the level of Verstappen. If Verstappen was driving their car, this championship would already be over. So it's been said that Verstappen carries 2 to 3 tenths of a second advantage. Whoever said that ain't lying, because that's the difference. What you've got with McLaren is a balanced car, which is on autopilot. Those guys aren't pushing it. What they're doing is just guiding it. It's such a great car. Verstappen is pushing his car and taking it to the limit. And Norris and Piastri are in trouble because on high-speed tracks, he's only getting better and better every week. And once they lose their front flexi wing, which helps them for flexibility, which helps them to have balance, or whether it's a high-speed corner or a slow-speed corner, they're dusted. I'm going to make my... I think Cameron says it. Cameron says 4 soon to be 5 soon to be 5 times champion. He's been saying it as a mantra, and I laugh at him because how is that going to happen? But apparently it's going to happen because Max Verstappen is psycho. Now let's get to... What else do we need to get to? There's not much more to talk about. Ferrari is crap. I don't even need to say anymore. Hamilton has a slight advantage over Leclerc on this track because it's a low speed. What I mean by a slight advantage is that he closes the gap to Leclerc on this because this is his type of car where Leclerc likes high-speed tracks. But it doesn't even matter anymore. It doesn't matter that he went out in Q2. That car is straight up crap. Leclerc drove... After Leclerc finished his qualifying lap, he said, I had a brilliant lap. And then when he heard his car was as slow as a retarded kid who sits in the back of a bus, he knew that what the fuck is going on with this car. When you feel like you pushed it to the limit and you should be running 126.2 like Verstappen and the others, and you're running 129.9999, Houston or Scuderia, we have a problem. Oh, before I was about to leave, let's talk about Antonelli. Raw talent, outperforming Russell on low-speed corners. I think that's why he beat Russell this week. This track isn't as technical. Technical tracks of high-speed corners, Russell will still beat him only because of experience. But Antonelli's proven that he's the man. Toto Wolff is a genius. Russell, I'm beginning to lose a little bit of my enchantment with him. You know, he's a great racer and everything, but he seems he's more busy trying to get into Norris's head, trying to get into Verstappen's head, coming on camera, always talking about such and such is this and this. This rule is great and that. He was the leader of the Drivers Association last year. The guy needs to stop believing his own legend. I was one of the people pumping his legend, but now that he's believing his legend, he's losing focus. And he looked pathetic this weekend.